Today's show is brought to you again by our friends at Boohoo Man. Get an extra 10% off all their current clothing range right now. So that's up to 40% off using our promo code TFT10. Make sure you use our link. All the information is in the description below. Go check out their brand new clothing range, their activewear, their tall and plus sizes, and much, much more. Romelu Lukaku. £100 million. The prodigal son returns. The final piece in the jigsaw in many people's eyes for Chelsea. They create the chances. The team has the openings. They just need somebody to put the ball into the back of the net. There was excitement across the majority of the Chelsea fan base when he returned, when he came back. But it isn't going very well. Of course, there was the outrageous interview, which has kind of been brushed under the carpet. There's supposedly been some reconciliation, some apologies, some togetherness. But are we really seeing that from Lukaku? One of the most disastrous statistics I've ever seen come out about a football player. Lukaku broke the record for the fewest touches in a single Premier League game. 7. For a player that's played a full 90 minutes. Since data became available. Since 2003, you were looking at nearly a 20-year period where this type of data was calculated. No football player in a Premier League football match has touched the ball less. 7 touches, only 4 passes completed. No touches in the opponent's box. No take-ons completed, no chances created, no shots on goal, no aerial duels won, no assists, of course. You never no touches, you're making no passes, you're not creating any chances, you're not going to get an assist. One of the most shocking individual performances in the history of the Premier League. And this is for one of the best teams in the world. This is for the world champions. So when you say one of the best teams in the world, you're not capping. European champions, League Cup finalists, FA Cup finalists, title challengers, world champions. And Lukaku has put in one of the most disastrous performances, one of the most disastrous returns ever in the history of the Premier League. And when you look at the price, when you look at the price of the player, when you look at the value of the player, it's almost unforgivable. Almost unforgivable. Almost unforgivable. And I think what's really important about this, when you break it down, what's very, 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 very key indeed, is when you break down and look at the... I want to make sure I say this in the right way. When you break down and look at the valuation of the transfer, the hype around him, the ability that we know he has, and then you couple that in with the actual performances coming out of Lukaku, it's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker. I want you to look at this here. This here shows you, this is this season. A lot of these goals you see here in Belgium shirts. Forget all of these goals up here. They're for Belgium. Let's scroll down. Keep scrolling down. Okay, you got the goal here against Arsenal. We'll kind of highlight the game as you can, up to there, right? It's hard to highlight. 1 goal against Arsenal, a brace against Estonia, a goal and an assist against the Czech Republic. And then look at that. Got them 2 goals against Villa. Got a winner against Zenit St. Petersburg. Okay, cool. Scored against, this is back in September, August. Started his career well. Look at the gap here. Look at the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games without a goal. Scores in the draw against Zenit. Has a decent December. Scores against Villa. Very important goal when he came on. Scored the opening goal against Brighton. And nothing since. He scored goals at the World Club Championship. You can see there against Palmeiras, and of course, Al Hilal. Scored in those games. Wasn't very good in those games, but he scored. Nothing. Since the goal against Zenit. Look at that there. Look at that. That is that's £100 million. £100 million of player. This is it too simplistic to say he's not a Premier League player? Is that too easy? Or are we looking at a mentality issue? He was very candid, in my opinion, in his interview. Very candid indeed. Very, very candid. Over where he really wanted to be. This is a disaster for Chelsea. From a PR perspective, everything. It's disastrous. It's a terrible signing in the end. It's not where or how they wanted it to be. It's poor beyond belief. The goals return compared to the amount of money spent is an absolute calamity. And as I say, I think it's too easy to say he's just not a Premier League player. I think it's too easy to say he doesn't really just want to be here. I think it's a combination of the Prem being the hardest league in the world. I don't think he really wanted to come back to Chelsea. And the pressure of being the 7th most expensive signing in the history of football is taking its toll. Here's a list. Actually, look at the top. This is like the top 10. How many have actually been a success? Legit. Neymar and Mbappe, you can argue, have been very good for Paris Saint-Germain. Haven't delivered a Champions League, though. Very hard to judge because of the Uber Eats League. But you start scrolling down. Philippe Coutinho to Barca, flop. For the money spent, flop. João Felix, for the money spent, flop. Griezmann, for the money spent, flop. Jack Grealish, so far, for the money spent, not doing great. Lukaku, so far, flop. Ousmane Dembele, flop. Pogba, done well. Hazard, flop. You get down to the next three. Ronaldo to Juve, very good at the money, still won them titles. But towards the end of his career, Bale to Real Madrid worked. Ronaldo to Real Madrid worked. The pressure of being that expensive of a player takes away from these. Look how many flops in that list of most expensive signings. You throw that in with the Premier League being hard, he ain't happy. You do not drop a disaster class like he did when you're happy. And I think Chelsea fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee here. They have got to sell him this summer. It ain't going to get any better. It is not going to improve. He is not going to become the player you all hoped, the player you all wish for. It may be too simplistic to say he's lazy, and I don't think it's bone idle laziness. I just think he hasn't got it in him because he doesn't want to be here. The pressure of being a £100 million player, the expectation of the Premier League, Chelsea fans, English football, is all too much to handle. It's too much to handle for him. And I know some Chelsea fans are going to ride out. They're going to defend their boy. But trust me, I'm seeing the same vibes we got from him at Manchester United. Behaviours, attitude on the pitch, performance levels not being there. He's a supremely talented football player. One of the best goal scorers of the last decade. But when he isn't happy, he's dangerous. And he isn't happy at Chelsea. And the performance levels and the outputs connected to it are showing. Lukaku, for me, is one of the reasons that Chelsea haven't pushed on this year. Yes, I don't think there's been enough progression in players like Kai Havertz. Werner hasn't turned a corner this year. But Lukaku came in and was meant to be that piece that brought the attack together. And for £100 million, the expectations have to be high. Chelsea's expectations are high anyway, irrespective of the price tag. It's an absolute calamity. And this performance, this is fine-worthy. This is transfer list-worthy performance against Crystal Palace. 7 touches of the ball. We saw yesterday Harry Kane put in a masterclass with his team didn't really have a lot of the ball. That's how it gets done. Lewandowski would never drop a performance like this against a team of Palace's level, with surrounded by the quality that Lukaku's got. Chelsea fans, I want to hear from you on this. Is enough enough? Do you need to step away? Do you need to move on to somebody different? What is your thoughts? What is your feeling on this? Because surely this cannot continue. Surely this can't be the direction your club's going in. They have to move him on. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Smash that like and share button. Thank you to Boohoo Man for sponsoring this show again. Go check out their website now. The link's in our description and in the comment section below. Use our promo code to get the extra discount as well. Up to 40% off. Whatever you like, 40% off. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all soon.